And here we go, starting things a little bit slowly with the prologue. Hopefully no one is gonna die there. It still happens a lot too. Pretty much every runner, I'd guess, but still an unfortunate death to start a race. We'll soon figure out. Alright, no death for Blueye, and none for Laurie either. Great start. Now we're gonna spice things up. Spice things up a little bit with the dash, which is gonna add some speed to this race. Alright, nice start from both runners. It's actually nicely synced, so it's only the beginning, of course. We'll see who takes the lead early on. What an unfortunate death there for Blueye. That was really close to make it to the other side of the screen. This is a pretty hard trick, actually. So Laurie has a slight advantage now from one screen up or two. Laura is actually doing a pretty solid chapter 1 so far. Alright, so Blueye finished chapter 1, heading now to Old Site, and Laurie's soon joining him. Still a really close race while it's first chapter, obviously, but alright, this chapter is the occasion to discover a new mechanic in the game, which is the Dream Blocks that Blueye will enter soon, as now actually. And you can kind of go through them with a dash and get your dash back after them. And you can also jump out of them, so to get a little bit of momentum. Really nice use of it actually there by Blueye. Now also you have Battleline that makes its first appearance, her first appearance I should say, by chasing you by like a 3 seconds delay. You sometimes have several of her, and you don't want to touch her else she kills you instantly. Pretty solid chapter 2 actually by both players, and at the moment I say that, Blueye almost had a really rough death, but he avoids it, and that's a really nice save actually, kind of dodging through the bad lines. Nice save actually by Laurie too. It's a pretty tricky screen, and both of the runners made it first try. That's great. Blueye is getting close to the end, actually finishes the chapter. That's nice, and Laurie's really soon gonna join him. And now both runners are heading to chapter 3, which is the resort, Celestial Resort. And we're gonna discover some new mechanics as, like, I think they're called dust. So the thing is dust enemies, I don't know. You same, they wander around a small part of the screen too. And if you, with the flag cycles, and if you touch them, you're dead, obviously. And the thing is, all this chapter is about cycles, so you have to kind of go at the exact right speed you want to be, so you don't go too far before after the cycle and you still make it. You also have the key mechanic, so you have sometimes a key at the end of the screen and you need it to open the door. So the thing is, even if you dive once you catch the key, it's not a problem, you still keep it. So sometimes, like later in this level, we'll see players retry at the end of the screen with the key, so they respawn at the beginning of it again. This one room, like where Blueye just finished and Laurie is in the middle of it, is pretty difficult to like optimize. You have a lot of objects in the way, like pretty much everywhere you go, so you have to really move tightly and precisely, and both players did it really well, actually. Really solid execution from the two players so far. It's still really close. Both are in what is called the huge mess section, where they have to kind of go to all those 3 places in the level and clean up the mess. That's what the story tells you, and that like kind of unlocks new part of the game. Some of the objects disappear like slowly once you get to the checkpoints. And Blueye is actually in the middle of the last part of it. Just Alright, now Blueye is heading to the elevator shaft, which is like a pretty short part of the game that is really tricky. You have few kind of long rooms, and then if you die at the end of it, it's like a really big loss. The one he's actually in is one of those, and really nicely done actually. No death there. And you will see on this screen that thing I was talking to you about, like the key where you retry at the end of it, and a few unfortunate deaths. That's a pretty tricky string to go through. really tight jumps, and nice, you got it. Actually, Laurie is catching up, but he's at the same scrim at the moment. And here you go. Only one scrim difference. Actually a pretty tight race. So both players are gonna run into the last part of this one chapter, which is the Oshiro fight, or rather escape, I would say, because you don't really fight it. You just mainly run away from him. There's gonna, like, this big head of Oshiro is gonna chase you around, and it's actually pretty hard to master because it's the same, like, kind of cycle thingy. I don't think we're gonna see it here, not often, but if you jump on top of his head, you can actually get, like, first of all, you don't get killed and you get your dash back, which can be useful in some cases. Really nice chapter so far for Blueye and Laurie too. Nice, and he finishes the chapter. So it's still really close and actually really good gameplay. And fourth chapter of the game is the Golden Reach, which is the occasion to for new mechanics, like this bubble that gets you, like, kind of throws you in one direction and also giving you a dash back, so it can be really useful. You also have the wind that you see on Blueye's screen that pushes you a bit, or depending on the wind strength, sometimes it's like really strongly in one direction. And also those clouds that kind of springs, but you have to jump at the right time to get more height or less height depending on what you want to do. A really tight jump there by Laurie on the screen. You have, like, Blueye did a bit safer strat where you climb the right wall all the way when you get the door locks, and Laurie just jumped right away, right into the bubble, and gained a bit of time there. That's really nicely done. Oh, what an unfortunate death there by Blueye. It's really, you have to do tight bunny hop, so where you dash right into the ground and jump again, and you have to time it right so you can also get a dash back and dash into the bubble after that. That's really tight, and Blueye got it second try, which is still really nice. Really nice screen by Blueye, this one too. It's actually a pretty solid run so far from both players, and it's still really close. Just great. Right now on Blueye's screen, you have also the last mechanic of this chapter, which is nobles. They come at you at like a periodic time, so you want to dodge them or jump on top of it to get the dash back to you. And once you figure out where they're coming from and how, well, where they are, where you are when they come, you can quite easily dodge them. And that concludes chapter 4 for Blueye, which is in a really nice time actually. Laurie is like a few screens away from finishing his chapter 4 too, sorry. So a bit of an advantage is taken there by Blueye with this really amazing chapter 4. And we're heading to chapter 5, the Mirror Temple. You have red bubbles now that like throws you all the way to when you collide another object or wall in one direction too. And this where Blueye is a kill skip. Usually you have to go all the way to the left and collect a key and a bubble, sorry, and to go through this little gap, but actually you don't need to do it. It's quite precise and it's having a bit of trouble with it, but there you get it, and you just skip the thing. It seems Laurie's having a bit of an issue with his game. I will soon figure out. She'll be back on track soon. It doesn't actually affect the game timer. And oh, Blueye is going for a kind of tricky strat where you get momentum from the platform on the left and got really high speed. Didn't quite get it, but it was really close and it got a really nice backup too. Oh, unfortunate that this screen is really long too, so you don't really want to die here because it's like automatically like 10 or 15 seconds loss. That was a bit unfortunate. Alright, so you see the timer that matters in the end is the timer that you see, well, on both screens actually. So Laurie is now 1 minute behind regarding that timer, so it kind of Alright, now you can discover seekers, those little enemies that chase you across the screen and by like at really high speed. And if you manipulate them the right way, you can actually make them trigger those locks for you, or you can jump on top of them and get a dash back. That's really nicely done by Blueye. Alright, this room is quite tricky, the one Blueye is at, and is doing a great job actually, really nice. That's a good chapter 5 start too. I'm really impressed. And Laurie is soon gonna get to that section too with the Seekers. And on Blueye screen you have the double ski skip, which same, usually you have to collect 2 keys across this kind of a like open world map that is this chapter. But if you do it correctly, you can skip the entire thing, and it saves a like solid 2 minutes, I would say. And the trick's not that hard itself, so pretty nicely done. So the end of this one chapter is about carrying Theo, that is our friend, and you don't really get to see him before this section actually, and so you have to carry it around at the end of every screen, and you cannot dash while you have it above you. So to gain time, you want to throw it away and dash, a super dash, and then catch it back. Oh, that's unfortunate actually. Theo got stuck on the top wall a little bit. A really nice backup by Blueye. Meanwhile, on Laurie's screen, you have the same tricky screen, and hopefully it's not gonna be a problem. Dying there is like also a really like hard death to take. Really nicely done. But double key skip is also really well done by Laurie. While Blueye is coming to the final, like second to last screen actually of the chapter. Really nice. And here you go, that's chapter 5. Really solid time by Blueye actually. And Laurie is getting to the Theo part. Reflection is the name of chapter 6, and Blueye's at it. You have this new mechanic, which is the feathers. For like a limited amount of time, you can like fly like freely in any direction actually. Like it's an analog, so not only the A direction of the path. And those blocks, you have to dash into them to get them moving, and they will keep moving in a single direction until they hit something. And you can get a lot of momentum if you dash from those, like Blueye just did. So on Laurie's screen, you had the possibility of getting a really nice speed out of the platform, and I almost got it, but kind of missed it with the edge of the next platform, so it slowed him down. Still really nice. It's gonna get to the end of chapter 5 really soon. It's an unfortunate death. Yet another mechanic, those like kind of blobs that pushes you in the opposite direction from where you're coming at them. So Laurie is heading to Reflection 2 now. It's kind of it seems like Blueye has a really solid advantage, but you have to keep in mind that Laurie had to restore his game, so like there's 1 minute shift like between the two players, so I think it is closer than what it looks like. and it's still a very open race. Both players are playing really well. My first try there for Blueye. It's a really kind of tight kind of passage there, and if you die, you have pretty solid time loss. So it's also has a bit of pressure. It's always nice when you get it first try. Good one. And nice speed there. Oh, actually bonked his head onto the edge. So normally you can get really high speed all along until you skip the cutscene where Bellline is. And almost beat it. Still a pretty solid time save, and that's Blueye95, one of the most, I want to say, like intense passage of the game, where you have to chase Bellline through all those screens by dashing at her, and like every time she pushes you back, you suddenly get the control over your character again and a dash too, so you can go pretty fast, and that's really good execution by Blueye. Alright, Laurie is coming quite close to. Still a little section to go through that Blueye already win. So it's a good grand run there, and you got this one like downward screen where you have to fall through through those spikes. We'll see how it goes for Laurie. Actually, they're going for like way safer strat, which is not actually a bad idea. It can save a time if you don't die first, and Laurie didn't die. Yeah, it's way safer, which is for a race. You kind of want to do safe things, in my opinion. Blueye's, I think, are like overall really solid Bellline fight. Very few death, very like optimized movements. And he's actually getting to the last screen, like last Bellline screen. You have like a little bit of things to do after that. So at the end of this chapter, and for like the last chapter too, you are gonna get an upgrade, which is a second dash. Actually, you can dash twice in the air without like having to reset it by any sort of resetting. Alright, so chapter 7 is mostly, well, it starts with a rewind of all the previous chapters. So you have the same like mechanics and elements, but like kind of harder since you have a second dash to go through them. So this first one is actually the like remake, I would say, of Reflection, and after you have the first 5 chapters in order before the final climb. So Laurie is getting close to the end too, to the end of chapter 6. I mean. Alright, really nice progression there by Blueye through this the beginning of this chapter 7, while Laurie is at the end of the chapter 6. And last screen, you don't want to die at the end of this screen, it's really long, and that's nicely done. So both players the last chapter now. Here's the remake of like All Side from Blueye. Oh, and from the death. What you can do also at the end of those blocks, and that what Blueye is showing us, is you can hyper dash out of them, so dash and jump really closely, like the two inputs one from the other. It gives you a lot of like extra speed, and that's that was discovered quite recently actually. Right. Now Blueye is heading to the remake of The Resort, which is, by like popular opinion, one of the most difficult part of the game. The cycles are really tight, and you have a lot of places to die on and really long screens too. So we'll see how it goes for both runners. Really good start of it by Blueye actually. Going for the health strat, and really nicely got the first part and then slowed a bit because I think it was too slow to make the fast cycle, and that's a nice backup. Really got through the screen like in a fast way and without dying, which is the most important because it's a really long screen. So Laurie is going through the remake of Chapter 2, while Blueye is on the remake of Chapter 4. So this one is really hard too. You have a lot of skips that you can do, and that are at really inconvenient places, so if you die you lose quite a bit of time. The next one is coming right now, which is you want to jump at the end while this platform is still moving. That's really nicely done. And grab the end of the other platform. You can do another one with this vertical, like, kind of shaft too there. We'll see if it does it. And yes, nice. Great. So now Laurie is to get through this scary part of Chapter 3 remake. Alright, this, like, the next part, the upcoming part from Blueye is actually a really nice one. You have a lot of like cool movements all the way through it. It goes really nicely. So this one skip is actually really precise, and it allows you to skip a bubbles that you have to get kind of downwards. Nice, you got it. You have to jump like on the ledge that's behind the spikes, and it's really precise. You have to get good timing to get it precisely. Laurie's having a bit of trouble in this one screen, but that's a really difficult one, so you can really... While Blueye is actually finishing this this part and getting to the 3,000 meters, the last part of the game, which is composed in like 30 flags that you have to go through. It's the same as screen transition, except that, like, basically not, but it's the same. If you die, you reset at the last flag you were in. So that's flag 30, and you're gonna climb up this final side of the mountain. So also you have some like a vertical draft that pushes you on this part downwards, and on the later part like upwards. And it's really kind of messes with how you would play normally, and you have to take that into account. That's really nicely done. Good like skip by Laurie. It was really close. I'm really glad I got it. That was precise. Nice second skip too. So you can see on Blueye sometimes it skips checkpoints. If it's faster, you almost every time are going to do it, because the death are not that bad either way. But if you do die, then and you skip one checkpoint, that you obviously get to the previous one. So it's still a risk to take. Oh, that's an unfortunate death. That's one of the, I believe that's one of the longest flags there are in the game. And the last part of it, the last like dash upwards, double dash upwards, is quite precise. And sometimes you have trouble with it. Okay, got it. Nice one. So only like 7 flags to go for Blueye from Blueye. That's actually really nice pace, I believe. Not quite PB pace, I would assume, but oh, I guess now, yeah, not close. Well, close, but I don't think we can make it. His PB is now like a 37-40, and they got it like on practice race right before the start of this one. And Laurie is actually making it to the last part of the summit. Alright, only a couple flags left for Blueye. That's soon gonna be time. Flag 1, hopefully no death there. Still happens to a lot of runners. And here you go, really nicely. 38, sorry, 07, I would assume. Yes, really nice time, really great run. Only like 20 seconds off his PB, so that's just great. Congratulations on him. Well, Laurie is getting to the last part too. Alright, the updraft board. Moving really nicely at the moment, really solid one. Right, that's really nice updraft board from Laurie. Getting close to the end. last four flags for Laurie. It's actually a really decent one, really decent 3K. At the moment I say that there's a couple of unfortunate deaths, but always happens. Really nice one. Those movements are kind of precise though. And back one. Very nice one is gonna be. A 41, 38 or 39? 39. Nice one. GG to both runners. Alright, really nice race. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I don't know, it was my first time commenting, I'm really sorry about that, and kind of a lot of stuff to take into account. Like GG's to both runners, please make sure you guys follow. So the next run is gonna be, let me check real quick. It's gonna be a double race in like 1 hour and a half. Like, actually no, more like 30 minutes between Uncle Ronnie and Rector Kitty and Cookie Apocalypse and Nerd 7. And it's gonna be casted by, commented by Laurie, the runner himself. I really hope you guys enjoyed the moment. I did, and see you guys next time.